This case is very interesting. The Kerala government, Mr. Syed Inayatullah, of which the Indian Union Muslim League is a part, had issued a circular in favor of solemnizing underage marriages in Kerala. This is a violation of the Child Marriage Prohibition Act of 2006, which prescribes a marriageable age of 18 for women and 21 for men. The circulation was withdrawn. But what was happening was an attempt being made for a community's personal laws to override an act banning child marriage. Now you have a uniform civil code. These kind of issues will not take place. You agree with what I'm saying, Mr. Inayatullah? You're a reasonable man. I'm sure you see the reason in this argument. In this country, some people have tried to push through even child marriage in this way. We can't allow this.
Which is very common. Which is very common.
Yes, Mr. Inayatullah.
Mr. Arnab, the question of child marriage is not now. It is not existing now as it is. It was there long back.
So it's a relevant question.
And now people have understood. People have understood and it is not required. Now we are sending all our girls to the schools, colleges and everything. Professionals, they are coming out. We are not thinking about this child marriage at all. Now you are talking about this common civil code in India. First of all, you make all Indian in one religion. Can you make it? Is it possible? You have multilingual.
Sir, are people in America under one religion? People in UK one religion? People in New Zealand one religion?
Yes, well, you bring one religion.
Is there one religion in America?
One religion. See,
is there one religion in America?
We are one religion in America.
Is there one religion in America?
American government is the only Christians, yes.
Really?
Yes,
then you are ignorant, Mr. Inayatullah, because there are 6 million Jews in America. TSR Subramaniam, please. That's no argument. TSR Subramaniam countering you. TSR Subramaniam, please. A few minutes on the debate. TSR Subramaniam. TSR Subramaniam is responding to Mr. Inayatullah.
Arnab, the point was made. I go back to the Indian Constitution. Somebody made a reference to the directive principles of state policy. That it is whatever is there is not justiciable. Since the common civil code is in the directive principles, education is there. Public health is there. Are we condemning this? Don't we want this? Don't we want rules, regulations to have this? What is the meaning of right to education? What is the meaning of right to health? Why not have a common code? Number one.
The government,
number two. Please don't interrupt, sir. Please don't interrupt. You have spoken enough. Please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. You have spoken enough. Please don't interrupt, sir. Also, Arnab, in this country, we need common, no other country in the world which distinguishes their own people. We have to integrate. Yes, it should not be Hindu law, it should not be Muslim law or Christian law, but there should be a certain common denominator, which therefore should be, and particularly it should be more woman friendly, not necessarily Hindu or Muslim, more woman friendly. We need a social revolution to upgrade the status of women. We have to think positively and ensure in this direction. Please do not convert it into a religious issue. Don't convert it into a vote issue or a party issue. As a country we need.
Mr. Inayatullah, you wanted to respond to Mr. Subramaniam, or should I move on to our next panelist? Yes, Mr. Inayatullah is responding to you. Mr. Subramaniam, hear him now. He heard you. He heard you. Let Mr. Inayatullah respond. Mr. Inayatullah comes in late to the debate. I let him respond. Yes, Mr. Inayatullah.
Yes. Yeah.
No, go ahead. You wanted to respond to Mr. Subramaniam, I think, when he was speaking here. Otherwise, I'll move in here and I have my next question on why the Congress is insulting Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Yes.
No, Mr. Subramaniam is mistaken. He thinks that only the majority Hindu can rule this India and all the political, all the social, everything can be reformed. No, it is not possible. It is multilinguistic, multi-religious, multi-subsection, so many multicultural. And now, first of all, we have to bring all in one roof. First of all, you try to bring it. If at all you are so serious to bring the uniform civil code, you constitute a body of Muslim scholars, non-Muslim scholars. Let them study the Quran, our Sharia law thoroughly, and give a report to the government saying that which is the better one, which is not a better one. Then we can accept the civil code.
Sir, this is not about a Sharia law, a Hindu law, a Muslim law, a Parsi law. Subramaniam Swamy.
No, it's not a Muslim law.
Subramaniam Swamy. No, Subramaniam Swamy is countering you once again. It's not about. No, but Miss Amee Yajnik, One sec. Subramaniam Swamy wanted to respond to Mr. Inayatullah, or should I move on to Gaurav Bhatia and Amee Yajnik? Ms. Amee Yajnik, I thought you ran out of argument.
I would ask only one thing, that how can anyone defend a man marrying more than one, having more than one wife? How can he have 4 wives and he'd be legitimized? How can he be entitled to marry a girl who is not even reached puberty?
No, you are mistaken. You are mistaken.
He can marry a minor.
It is not a
this is the kind of thing. You agree one man shall marry only one woman.
See, how many of the Muslims have married more than one wife? But I can show how many of the non-Muslims have married more than one wife. You are political leaders, you are government bureaucrats.
Mr. Inayatullah, you don't...
They have married, not married.
Mr. Inayatullah, simple question Subramaniam Swamy puts to you. Mr. Inayatullah, please be reasonable. Mr. Inayatullah, please be reasonable. In our country, the simple question is putting to you, how can one man marry more than one wife, and that to someone who is a minor? You cannot have a law which directly, indirectly allows that. You cannot have it. You cannot have it, Mr. Inayatullah.
Sorry to say, no.
You can't have it, Mr. Inayatullah.
He is a well-learned man, but he has no idea about this marrying 4 wives. It is not a must. It is not a rule. If you want to have, you can.
But it is allowed.
But it is allowed.
Equally. It is allowed. But it is allowed. When? Whom? Have a marriage? Have anybody is married? Have Khalidas married? No, it is not so.
It is allowed under the
It is allowed. It is allowed only the necessity comes.
Mr. Inayatullah.
It is allowed, only necessity comes. Can you show the population of the Muslims, how many of them married 4 wives?
Is it right?
4 wives.
No, is it right? Mr. Inayatullah, my question to you is it right for a man to marry up to 4 wives? In today's society,
yes,
is it right or wrong? I'm asking you, is it right or wrong?
No.
Is it right or wrong?
If that is the case,
is it right or wrong? No, Mr. Inayatullah, things can be either right or they can be wrong. My question to you is it right for a man to marry up to 4 wives? Is it right or wrong?
Yes, it is right.
It is right.
It is right.
You think it is right for a man to marry 4 wives?
You tell me how it is wrong. You tell me how it is wrong. I will explain to you how it is right.
Well, I'm shocked that you're saying this, because this is exactly, you are actually buttressing the argument of people who are saying in a country you can't allow this. There are more than 1 million Muslims in 1% of the population in America. That's more than 3 or 4 million Muslims are there in America. They don't have the right to marry more than one wife.
Right.
Does that make them bad Muslims?
The American culture.
Does that make them bad Muslims? This is not American culture. My question now is to Amee Yajnik. Amee Yajnik, please listen to me. Miss Amee Yajnik, listen to me. No, Miss Amee Yajnik.
Islamic culture,
Miss Amee Yajnik, my question to you is...
Arnab.
No, 1 second. Miss Amee Yajnik, I must quote Babasaheb Ambedkar to you. I don't want you to counter me. Trust me. I just want you to counter Babasaheb Ambedkar. Okay? I want the Congress spokesperson to counter the logic of Babasaheb Ambedkar on the Newshour tonight, Amee Yajnik. Please don't deflect this question. Here is a great opportunity for you to make your case against the Uniform Civil Code. All you have to do is contradict and take on Babasaheb Ambedkar. Babasaheb Ambedkar said the following. Amee Yajnik, pay attention. He said, quote, I personally do not understand why religion should be given this vast, expansive jurisdiction so as to cover the whole of life and to prevent the legislature from encroaching on that field. After all, said Babasaheb Ambedkar, what are we having this liberty for? We are having this liberty in order to reform our social system, which is full of inequities, discriminations and other things which conflict with our fundamental rights. This is what Babasaheb Ambedkar said. Ms. Amee Yajnik, be true to your own position. Right now, contradict Babasaheb Ambedkar. I give you 1 minute. Your time starts now. Let the whole world see you contradicting Babasaheb Ambedkar. Don't deflect.
There is no contradiction here, because Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was one of the framers of the Constitution.
Counter him.
And Article 25, which says freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion, which was put there by the framers of the Constitution to see that a pluralistic, social, religious society across sections has so many personal laws. Let it get time to have a court code, and so your question sets answered. And then Article 44, that the state shall endeavor to secure a uniform civil code. And the apex court has said that it is desirable for the state to have a uniform civil code, but you cannot have it thrust upon the society of India. You cannot have it in one go. You have to have it by gradual step
Amee,
by step.
Yajnik,
So
Amee, Yajnik. No, 1 minute, Amee, Yajnik. Amee, Yajnik, if that is your position. No, if that is your position, then if that is your, first of all, you've not been able to counter Baba Saheb Ambedkar, that's understandable. If that is your position, I'd like to remind you. No, if that is your position,
you are reading it wrongly.
No, I'm quoting Baba Saheb Ambedkar.
Please read it correctly.
I want to just remind both Gaurav Bhatia and Amee Yajnik. Now I'm coming to Gaurav Bhatia. The Shah Bano case, Gaurav Bhatia, was a milestone in the Muslim woman's search for justice and the beginning of the political battle over personal law. I want to remind you about what the Supreme Court said in the Shah Bano judgment, when it said that a common civil code will help the cause of national integration. In your case, it's not the question of preparing a ground by introducing more obstacles that would create the ground for a common civil code. Amee Yajnik says today, let there be baby steps taken towards a common civil code. The greatest step was the Shah Bano judgment. What did the Congress party do? It went against the grain of Nehru's argument and almost permanently put the uniform civil code on the back burner. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
May I add one point here?
Yes, after the Shah Bano case, the parliament
just a short point.
Okay?
I'm talking of the Shah Bano case.
Now, I've already answered. I told.
No, you've not. You're deflecting the question on the Shah Bano case.
The personal law
I'm not deflecting.
The judgment cannot override.
Read
personal laws.
I am just telling you what happened. Okay, now your screen showed that I termed uniform civil code as communal. I never said that it is communal in nature, and if I say so, then the framers of the constitution, I think, also would fall in the same line. What I said was that please understand that
Mr.
Arnab, please
Bhatia,
allow me to make my point. Don't interrupt, Arnab. Please, I request
Mr. Bhatia,
don't
quick counter.
Listen to me.
Quick counter to you.
Yes,
you know,
listen
Mr.
to
Bhatia.
me.
No, 1 minute, Mr. Bhatia. The Shah Bano case.
The
Shah Bano case. No. Since we are talking of reforming the system, and we say let's keep reforming till we reach a uniform civil code. The Shah Bano case. Just I'll take 30 seconds. The Shah Bano case gave a Muslim woman. No, 1 second. The Shah Bano case gave a Muslim woman the right to maintenance for the period of iddat, that is 3 months after the divorce, and shifted the onus of maintaining her to her relatives or the Waqf board. Right? Now my question is very simply this. This was one of the big steps towards a uniform civil code. In a pre-election year, the Congress government panicked under the pressure of the orthodoxy. Would you say today that that was a mistake that the Congress government did? Would you say so tonight? Would you say so tonight?
The collective wisdom of the parliament is to be questioned on Newshour?
Sir, I am talking of the... Sir, I think you are not able to answer the question.
I am answering if you pay attention to what I am saying. The parliament intervened to interfere in the Shah Bano case after the judgment was delivered. So are you questioning the collective wisdom of the parliament?
Sir, I am asking you whether... I am asking you whether over... 1 second. I am asking... Subramaniam Swamy, that's not the question. I am asking you whether overturning a Supreme Court judgment in the Shah Bano case was a good thing or a bad thing. Whether it destroyed the grain of Nehru's argument. Subramaniam Swamy, 2 minutes on the debate. Subramaniam Swamy.
Let me answer.
Subramaniam Swamy.
Parliament can make mistakes. Parliament can make mistakes as it did in the emergency. They passed a resolution supporting the emergency. Later on, they had to regret it. So here too, the parliament can make a mistake, and it has made a mistake. Now, second thing, let me say, the Congress spokesman has not read the Constitution, quoted Article 25. Article 25 starts with the phrase, subject to morality, subject to public order, subject to public health.
Yes,
the practice of religion will be carried. So therefore, don't say it's an absolute right.
Mr. Swamy, let Amee Yajnik respond.
Mr. Swamy, you are stuck on the point of polygamy. The personal laws affect maintenance, adoption, marriage laws, inheritance, property rights, and everything. You are stuck up on polygamy. You read the Constitution as a whole,
Yes, it
and
is
all the
immoral.
articles that are in the
It is
fundamental
immoral.
rights and the
I have one
direct
question to
harsh.
Dr. Subramaniam Swamy. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, 1 minute.
Arnab, please.
No. One thing which Dr. Subramaniam Swamy should explain.
communities.
No, 1 second. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy also must explain something. They have 282 seats and the Shiv Sena also is in favor of a uniform civil code. You campaigned for a uniform civil code for so long. Why don't you bite the bullet, walk the talk instead of talking of wider consultations that will be required? You're only using this as a political slogan. That there has been a climb down Subramaniam Swamy is undeniable. When Atal Bihari Vajpayee spoke in Parliament about the Uniform Civil Code in 1961, his argument dealt primarily on the context of religion.
Civil code. Can you explain it to us?
I am telling
now,
you
on
that
the
the
Arnab Goswami
BJP
show,
and
can you
its
explain
allies
to
will
us
walk the
what you mean by a
talk
common civil
definitely
code?
within a short period of time. Not only on this, but on all the other things that have been included in the Constitution, in the manifesto.
Subramaniam Swamy, John Dayal, we're going to take this debate forward later. I'm short of time tonight, but if the BJP thinks that all it needs to do is keep Yogi Aditya Nath happy by responding saying we are having a conversation on this subject, let us remind them just keeping the RSS and the right-wing lobbies happy is not the job of governance. Subramaniam Swamy, please keep that in mind. Thank you for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight.